Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. Our Broadway course book 1. Our today's lesson is page number 45, Her Garden, His Field. It's unit number 4 now. Let's start what the book vendors are expecting from the teacher and what they're expecting from the students. Interact with the text and use reading strategies while reading to use pictures or rebus in text to increase understanding. Identify and revise written work for spelling and punctuation. Fill in missing information to complete simple sentences. Identify action words. Now we are going to study verbs in this lesson. Write appropriate naming and action words. Action words are verbs, naming words are nouns. To identify an object or an action in a picture. Show a series of actions in a picture by writing action verbs. Identify and use words showing possession, for example, my, your, his, her, our, and their. Recognize and change the number of simple naming words by adding or removing s, singular or plural. Recognize people and places have particular names. Identify and fill in speech bubbles with given appropriate words and formulaic expressions. Identify words that begin with the same sound. Read aloud 3-letter words with reasonable level of accuracy in pronunciation. Demonstrate common conventions and dynamics or oral interaction in groups to participate in conversation and introduce themselves. Recognize and write rhyming words from a poem. Students need to be fostered, helped with a sense of peace and social cohesion, living together, taking care of each other, not harming anyone's property. Let's move on to the lesson. Now, starter says, you can see the pictures. Look at these 3 pictures. You can go to these places to get some fresh air and engage in healthy, fun activities. Would you like to play in one of these places? What should you do to stay safe outside your home? Share your thoughts with the class. Now, this is a football ground. This is a park and this is a riverside or a beach. Probably a riverside because it is thinner. These are the places that our parents usually take us for outings, and we should be safe here, take care of each other. In the parks, we should be careful, we should never talk to strangers, and during a game, we should try not to hurt the other players. Moving on to the reading. Now read the story. One day, early in the morning, a little rabbit goes hop, hop, hop along the road. Now over here, one day early in the morning, morning is the time. A little rabbit is again a noun, and goes is the action. Hop, hop, hop is the action that the rabbit does. He is enjoying the fresh air. Here the verb is enjoying. A little girl comes along running and skipping. Now the actions here are running and skipping, and the little girl is the noun. She wants to play and exercise. The 2 things that she wants to do is play and exercise. The little girl and the rabbit meet. Come home with me, Mr. Rabbit, she says. Let's play in my garden. No, little girl, your garden is small, says Rabbit. Let's play in my field. It's big and open. We won't get hurt there. The little girl says, Mr. Rabbit, your field is cold. I could get sick. Wise Crow sits on the tree and says, Caw, caw, that's easy. Let Mr. Rabbit play in his field. Let the little girl play in her garden. The rabbit and the girl agree that this is a smart idea. Bye, Mr. Rabbit, says the little girl. Bye, little girl, says Mr. Rabbit. And they go back, the girl to her house and the rabbit to his field. Now, what we've learned here is that all the names of the people are nouns. When we refer to them as she, he, these are pronouns. And the action that they are in process is known as the verb. Rewrite the story below with words instead of pictures. Check your work for spelling and pronunciation. A little rabbit and a little girl met in the middle of the street. She said, let's play in my garden. He said, no, let's play in my field. Mr. Crow said, caw, caw. Complete the sentences. Mr. Rabbit said the little girl's garden was cozy. It was small. For Mr. Rabbit was not happy because he found the garden smaller. The little girl said the field was cold and too big. They went back to play in their own places. The little girl went to her garden and the rabbit went to his field. Now let's move on to learn to read. Do you think Wise Crow was right? What else could the little girl and Mr. Rabbit have done? Yes, the crow was very wise because he taught the little girl that she was not supposed to leave her garden and told the rabbit to play in his field as it was a big place for him. Learn words. There are different ways to move. From the words in the box below, underline only the movement, the action words. Match them to the pictures. Now the action over here is speak, run, skip, say, jump, sing, hop, walk, swim and fly. This man he's running. This lady is speaking. This angel or the fairy is flying. This girl is skipping. This boy is walking. This boy is jumping. This lady is singing. This boy is swimming. Now, what is this lady doing? She's saying something, and this boy is hopping. Explain that the words given above represent different ways to move and are called verbs. These are words used to represent an action or a state. Help the students identify these words in the exercise. Now I've explained to you anything action, any doing word is always known as a verb. Moving on to the next page. Read the sentences. The little girl plays with her friends. The children ride their bicycles. These are possessive adjectives. They sit before a noun to show who or what owns it. Read the phrases below. I, my bicycle, my bicycles. You, your cat, your cats. He, his dog, his dogs. She, her goat, her goats. It, its bell, its bells. Now here it's plural, here it's singular. We, our teacher, our teachers. They, their giraffe, their giraffes. Make phrases in the example using my, your, his, her, our or their. Hadi says, my car. Mr. Rabbit says, his watch. Sana says, Raju's football. Mr. Rabbit says, Alice's garden. Rani says, Sama and Lisa's village. Nida and Rahil say, Nida and Rahil's school comes here, their school. Rani says, Sama and Lisa, their village. Mr. Rabbit says, her garden. Sana says, his football. Mr. Rabbit says, his watch. Hadi says, my car. Moving on to page number 50. Make phrases in the example using my, your, his, her, its, our and their. Her football, their dogs, its nest, their bicycles, their books, their cat. Imagine the little girl and the rabbit write notes to each other. This is the little girl's note. Mr. Rabbit, please come to play in my garden. Write the note that Mr. Rabbit wrote. Little girl, I cannot come to your garden because I am playing in my field. Write 2 notes from the wise crow to the little girl. Little girl, please play in your garden. To Mr. Rabbit, please play in your field. Read the words aloud. Can you think of more words that begin with the same sound as the words given below? For example, pat, pack, tab, tag, etc. Pat, tab, sack, track, flat, strap. Read the words aloud. Tap, dan, pack, map, strap, sack, flat and track. Read the sentences aloud. The rabbit sang an old song. Dan took a tram to the bandstand. Look at the picture. Read what the children are saying to each other. Hi, I'm Saima. I'm Saima Kareem. I'm from Karachi. I study in St. Theresa's. Hello, I'm Saad Ahmed. I'm from National School in Lahore. Work in pairs. Talk to your partner in the same way. Tell her or him your name, the name of your school and your town. Name is Benjamin John from Central School and lives in Islamabad. Name is Asma Javed. She studies in Happy School and belongs to Quetta. Rabia Iqbal studies in the kids school, is from Peshawar. Ms. M. Muhammad Irfan studies in DV school and lives in Rawalpindi. Zara Naseem, she is from AN school and she lives in Swat. You can talk about you and your friends and the school that you study in, that is Hillcrest. Moving on to the next page, page number 52. The little girl went home to play and she thought of all her friends. Look at their pictures below. Listen to your teacher and draw a line from the names of the children to the correct pictures. Let's move on. Ariba and Rida are playing tennis. Martin and Rida are playing carom. Raja is sleeping. Martin is again then watching TV and Ariba is listening to the radio. We've done our lesson today. This is our unit number 4, her garden, his field. We read all the naming words, that is the nouns. Then we read all the action words, which are the verbs. Then we learned how to speak, show our actions, basic conversation. Then we studied possessive adjectives, made phrases out of possessive adjectives. Moving on, then we wrote small notes from the rabbit and from the little girl and notes from the wise crow. We read words of the same sound with A in the beginning as a vowel. Then we introduced ourselves. We learned how to introduce ourselves, our school, and the city that we live in. And on the last page, we matched pictures to the people who were doing a certain action: watching TV, listening to the radio, sleeping, playing carom, and playing table tennis. Now we've learned action words and nouns in this lesson. I hope you've understood. Take care and thank you.